Hey everybody, welcome to R&IT. Today I'm super excited because this is the first video of R&IT in 2025. As I said in my last video, Radical and Interesting Things is changing, or this is the change. It's going to be more conversational, not so many challenges. And if you want to hear more about the changes that I'm making to R&IT, you can go check out that video. I'll have it linked in the description. And today's video is going to be about my current reads, my TBR list, and my favorite books. So for the end, because I went to the library not too long ago, and I got a bunch of books, and I found that a lot of them were disappointing. I'm going to go in order of the books that I read, or try to at least. So the first one I read was I Am Still Alive. It's by Kate Alice Marshall, and I did enjoy the book. However, I thought it was a bit, like, some parts kind of droned on. It says it on the cover. I don't know if you can see that, but like that it's the girl version of Hatchet, if you've ever read Hatchet. So it's about a girl who has experienced a lot of tragic stuff. She now has to go live with her dad because her mom has died, and yeah, she's injured. Just a lot of bad stuff has happened to her, and so she goes to live with her dad. She on this island, and she doesn't want to be there. She wants to be back in the city where she knows, and you know, that's to her where life is. In the story, her dad ends up dying, spoiler, and yeah, she wants revenge on the people who killed her dad. She ends up, keeping her dad's dog, because I think in the book she might have thought about, like, hey, well, I could kill him and use him for meat, or like, yeah, but she didn't, and he ends up being very useful to her throughout the story. But what I found most disappointing about this book was just like the ending, and she builds it up for revenge, and I'm waiting, like, okay, she's finally going to do what she's been wanting to do this whole time, and she starts feeling bad, and she makes a bunch of terrible decisions. I'm like, what? Come on. But she makes a bunch of terrible decisions, and her last bullet, it's like these 3 bullets that she had, or I think it was around 3, and she uses her last bullet on her dog. Yes, that's terrible to go around like killing people, shooting them, but the dog is the thing that kept her alive the whole time. So I was kind of disappointed about that. But I would say read it if you're okay with. So it was in the teen section when I found it, and I don't read many books from the teen section because there's a lot of raunchy stuff in there, the cursing and stuff like that, and I don't really want to read that. But this book it did have a few curse words. They were just kind of thrown in there, like, for no reason. And yeah, but I would recommend this book if you're okay with a few curse words. It wasn't over the top, which I appreciated. And so the next book I read, let me get it out here off the shelf, was Lost Boys. This is by Darcey Rosenblatt. If I'm not pronouncing the author's name wrong, please tell me in the comments, and I'm sorry. But this book, it was okay. Like I said for the last one, it was disappointing and it droned on. It wasn't as disappointing as I'm Still Alive, but yeah, I liked it. I would recommend it, but in the end, spoiler, he kind of loses, the main character loses his friend. A lot of stuff happened, and he ends up being reunited with his friend. His friend is like almost a main point of the story, and in the end, they kind of built it up like it was going to be a happy ending, and then it wasn't. And not that I'm all for happy endings. I like happy endings, and then I also don't, because, you know, every book's got a happy ending. You're like, why are there no sad endings? Nowhere Better Than Here by Sarah Guillory. Yeah, so I did enjoy that one. Again, the ending was disappointing. Like, I went to the library and got a bunch of books with disappointing endings. Comment down below what books you've gotten that were just disappointing. You weren't satisfied with how they ended, or even you weren't satisfied with the beginning or the middle. Comment down below. I did like this book, except for the end, because in the end, it's like an hey, it all worked out kind of story, which it wasn't built up to be. It was like, it worked out, but it didn't, and they didn't really explain. I feel like there could have been more depth on either like a resolution or a not resolution, but there's kind of both and neither at the same time, which I didn't really like. Frindle Files. So this is by Andrew Clements. If you have never read a book by Andrew Clements, you should. These are probably considered kids' books. They are. I love them still. So I read Frindle, and that was a really good book. Actually, my whole family read the book together, and we really liked it. And so this book, it was good. All Andrew Clements books, by the way, side note, are awesome. Most of the books I've read by him are awesome. I love them. So this one didn't really like match up to the hype that I was like. I thought it was going to be good. It is, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. And so then when I read in the back, after I finished the story, I realized that the author who wrote this book had died like 4 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. So I don't know if he actually finished this book. I think they said that he completed the first draft and then it was edited for him and published. But this is the last book Andrew Clements ever wrote, which is kind of sad. I really loved his book. And next was Finally Seen. This is by the same author as New From Here. I loved that book. That book by Kelly Yang. So this is Finally Seen by Kelly Yang. I loved New From Here. And this one was not as good. Like, it's not as good as New From Here. But it was still really a really good book. And yeah, I would definitely recommend this book. I would recommend probably a lot of Kelly Yang's books. I'm going to keep reading books by Kelly Yang. And the last book was this one, Peter Nimble. This was recommended to me by a friend, and she was reading it, and I was like, oh, what are you reading? And she showed me this book, so I took a picture of it. And when we went to the library, like the past time we went to the library, I saw this book, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Come to find out later, it's the same book that my friend recommended, so I was like, hey, I'll read it. I have to say, I didn't love it. It's called Peter Nimble and His Fantastic Eyes by Jonathan Auxier. So I didn't love this book. I actually did not finish it. It was a certain kind of, I don't know if you call it fantasy, but it was certain stuff that's like too unreal that I didn't like. And yeah, it was, sometimes stories can be so magical and unreal, but I don't mind because this is a magical, unreal story. Some of them are more realistic, and I appreciate that because it is realistic. This book seems like they tried to merge both, which I don't really like. I probably have read some books like this, but this one, it just wasn't right. It just wasn't right. So I am planning eventually to do another Radical and Interesting Things video, and I'm going to force myself to read books that I do not want to read. So this is on the list for that video. You can look out for that. All right, now I'm going to move on Let me grab my laptop. And yes, I am using notes for this video because this is my first R&IT. First video I'm doing like this, and I am not good at remembering stuff. So we're going to move on to my favorite books. Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper. I love that book. I love that book. Actually, I have to say, the terrible thing is I don't really remember what happened in the book. And they made a movie about it. Disney made a movie. I'm not too happy about that. I'm going to watch it. I want to watch it. But they made a movie called Out of My Mind, and I don't love it from what I've seen. I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff that's not true to the book. But I have to read the book again first so I can remember what happened and then go watch the movie. And I will probably do a video telling you how that was. And then Out of My Heart, again by Sharon Draper, is the sequel to Out of My Mind. I love Out of My Heart more than I love Out of My Mind. That book was really, really good. Like, it's just awesome. Out of My Mind and Out of My Heart are about a girl with, I think it was cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy. I don't know how you pronounce it. Correct me in the comments if I'm saying it wrong. But I really enjoyed both of those books. Out of My Heart, sorry. I remember that one very well, probably because I loved it so much. That one was about Melody, the main character, the girl with cerebral palsy, going to camp. It was awesome. Oh my goodness, they have so much fun. There is a third book, and I just found this out. Out of My Dreams. That's what it's called. Out of My Dreams. I'm reading it now. I think it's not exactly up there with Out of My Heart. And I think it's not exactly even up there with Out of My Mind. But it's okay. But moving on, The Sun Will Come Out by Joane Levy. Love that book too. It's also about camp. I think I just love reading books about people going to camp, girls going to camp. Like, it was a really fun book. You should read that. It was about her and her friend and just like kind of her social life, getting along without her best friend, and just dealing with those feelings of not being with her best friend who is going off to another camp without her. A camp that she's wanted to go to and they've always planned to go to together. So she's making new friends and she's realizing, and this is something that I actually kind of, like, it put words to something that I always thought. She said, and I'm paraphrasing, she said, I think there are best friends for every situation or many situations, because she had her best friend already. But then she made another friend who she's really good friends with, and she's like, hey, you're my best friend too. And she's like, well, maybe there's a best friend for for different occasions. You can have best friends in many different occasions. And I think that's true. I've adopted that saying because I have very many best friends. Yeah, that book was really good. I would say read that. Even if you don't read, you should read Out of My Mind. Read it. But even if you don't, you should read Out of My Heart, and definitely read The Sun Will Come Out. Out of My Mind and Out of My Heart are by Sharon M. Draper, and The Sun Will Come Out is by Joane Levy. And New From Here, as I said, by Kelly Yang. That's a good read. That's one of my favorite books. Restart by Gordon Korman. I love books by Gordon Korman. He's one of my favorite authors. We were in a class for our co-op, and we had to read it for a book club. It was awesome. And now I've gone on to read all of Gordon Korman's books. So yeah, Restart, that was awesome. It was hilarious. It's like jokey. And then there's New Kid, which I also read during this book club, by Jerry Kraft. And then he also has another book, Class Act. I love those. There was a third one, I think. I don't remember what all of them are called, but read all of the New Kid series by Jerry Kraft. Those are awesome. And then there's Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kwame and Mbalia. I love that book too. And I think these are all books I'd say you should read. I love those. And bonus, this is an author. One of my favorite authors is Ellen Miles. And yes, she's writing kid books. I love them so. The Puppy Place. if you still like kid books and you like animals, read it. Read it. I love The Puppy Place, and if I find new ones, I will still read them. All right, moving on to my TBR list. I have a book where I write down a lot of ideas, and my TBR list is in this book. I put it as books I want to read before I found out that it is called a TBR list. So I'll tell you the author and then all the books by this author that I want to read because I'm wrapping this video up. So Gordon Korman is the author. I want to read Faker, Slugfest, and Old School, which I think Faker and Slugfest are his new books. Old School, don't know if that's a new one. I'm pretty sure that's an old one. The Juvie 3, What's His Face, I think that's a new one. The Fort, that's a new one. So those are the books by Gordon Korman I want to read. I also have another book in my bedroom that I want to read. My sister got it for me, so I'm going to read it because I love Gordon Korman's books. And The Choosing by Teresa Holman. I think that's a Christian book. I'm not sure. I want to read more Christian fiction. That's what I'm looking for. So if you know of any Christian fiction books, comment. And there's Bread of Angels by Tessa Afshar. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. And Field of Grace. It's also by Tessa Afshar. Where the Rivers Part, Story of My Mother's Life by Kadkalia Yang. Idle Grounds by Christelle Bamford. Double Trouble by Joane Levy, who also wrote The Sun Will Come Out. Let It Glow, and The Book of Elsie. So those are the books I want to read by Joane Levy. Panic by Sharon Draper. She wrote Out of My Mind, Out of My Heart, and Out of My Dreams. So thanks for watching. Please comment down below your favorite books. Check out my blog where I post a lot of book content. If you're into reading, then I would suggest highly that you check it out. Also, I will have linked down below the books that I read and talked about today, and the next R&IT will be about The Chosen, and I think I'll be doing that with Esther. So you're going to want to see that. Share this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Like this video if you like it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.